welcome to my channel, and I'm Stephanie, and this video, have you ever just wanted to read a book that was romance, but it didn't have that shirtless, crazy, fabulous looking guy? Yeah, I'm a little partial, but have you ever wanted just a romance that didn't have all that flair up front, and you got it? Well, I'm going to give you guys some suggestions out of my favorite books that I absolutely love. That I'll give you some where there are people on the front of the cover, but all of these do not have a shirtless guy on the cover. So as I said, I actually got the suggestion or the request to build a list of books that I've read that I enjoyed. They don't have shirtless guys on them. I love those books. I like to judge my books by their covers. I've done a couple videos about that as well. But here are some of my favorites that I absolutely loved. Books that have journeys, books that have arcs that are going to make you cry, that are going to make you emotionally connected, especially if you can relate to the character and their journey. But these books do not have either people on the cover, or they don't have that normal, typical male model on the front. The first book is The Roommate Disagreement by Leddy Harper. This book, it has a shoe and a tie, and it's going to take you through the emotional ringer. The story is about a man that needs to find a roommate, and he doesn't want to have any connections with the female. He wants to get a female, and he doesn't want any strings attached to it. So he wants no romance whatsoever. This journey is absolutely amazing, because what are the little things that you're going to do when you're looking for a companion, but life has a little something more and a journey to take you on? The next book is Drive by Stewart. This book, as you can see, first of all, it makes you want to push the button in the middle and make it play, right? Well, you can't do that with the cover. It's a genius cover, in my opinion. I love this cover. And this cover definitely embodies the story. Your story follows a young lady who is at the airport, and she hears some news that kind of shakes her, and instead of getting on the plane, she decides to drive home. Well, then you were flashback to pretty much events in her life that are pivotal. She is a music journalist, and you get to see how she became that music journalist that you meet in the beginning of the book to her ending of her journey. It's gonna take you high, it's gonna take you low, and the playlist on this book is fantabulous. It's just amazing. Absolutely amazing. So if you decide to pick up this book, Drive, definitely download the Spotify playlist that goes along with it, because you're going to get to parts in this book and you're going to be like, I need to know how this character feels, so let me go and find this song, play the song, read the scene, and you're going to be instantly put into these characters that are in this book. It's so good, so amazing. The next is It's You, Duet by Katy Regnery. And I enjoyed this book. Who would have thought this book was a paranormal romance book? And I didn't. I was like, what? What is going on right now? And there's so much folklore and other things that are thrown into this book. It's not purely just romance, but it's really good, in my opinion. I really enjoyed it. And it started off my year into paranormal romance even more. Next is Black and White Flowers by Rachel Robinson, and this one does have a smidge of a person on it, or people on it. However, you really have to look at this cover, because the cover is blue, and it has a broken piece of something. The journey that these characters go on is crazy. You have a writer who puts out an ad to find a Navy SEAL because she wants to sort of get some real life history and tell their story. Well, the SEAL that ends up coming to her assistance, she has, I guess you could say, issues with, or he has issues. So he's taking a journey, he's taking you on a journey, she's taking you on a journey. Then there is just this overarching journey that goes on with the world, and it's just, I mean, it's gonna throw you, or at least it threw me. It had me very just attracted to this world, and I loved every single second being in this book. Next is Infinity Plus One by Amy Harmon. I read this book a while ago. It's about I want to say it's like a modern day Bonnie and Clyde sort of book. It's been a minute since I read this book, but as you can see, there isn't a person on the cover, and I did enjoy it. And I felt that the journey of the two characters through their ups and their downs, their expectations, were very relatable. So that really drove me to enjoy this book. Next is going to be The Weight of Rain Duet by Mariah Dietz, and that includes The Weight of Rain and The Effects of Falling. These two books are about BMX riders, and one of them really, really drives up the fact of finding yourself and girl power, and I loved that secondary sort of journey that the characters go on, and I loved it. I loved that series. I really, really enjoyed that series. Now, here comes a couple that actually have some people on them, and the first one is going to be Savage. And I know I said that it didn't have like the hunky man or whatever. This is a guy's face, yes. Okay? I'll give you that. This is a guy's face, but those blue eyes and that profile of him, and then when you start to read this story, you understand that, this book is written by L.A. Fiore, by the way. Sorry. But I loved this book. I mean, the feelings that went along with it. It's set in Scotland. It makes you feel like it's magical and that it has some paranormal feel to it, but it's not. And it just really just grabbed me and makes me want to go to Scotland even more than I wanted to before. I mean, the writing is phenomenal. It's very descriptive, and it really sets you into the possibilities of, finding yourself, finding forgiveness and belief and faith, and yes, it's not your typical romance. Next is going to be Unexpected Arrivals by Stephie Walls. This book has a woman and a child on it. And looking at this initially, you wouldn't think it was a romance. But there is a romantic aspect to it. You meet a character who gets some unexpected information. And then you get to flashback and find out how this all became and what our characters had to go through and what they are willing to accept on faith, and learning to grieve and finding forgiveness in their life. Such a moving book. Next is going to be The Flip by K.L. Montgomery, and this has a couple painting a wall because they're fixing up a house. And that's pretty much the premise of the book in the first place, is that these two individuals that have a history have to come back together again because they have inherited a house. Well, there's been a lot of miscommunication, and their journey is fun. It's very realistic. It's set in Delaware, so you get lots of flavor and places that sort of put you in that Delaware area and makes you want to visit. Next is going to be Love My Way, and this book, I was so thrown by this book. This book, you take this journey with an artist who takes you from childhood onto her current life, and it's just, I can't say too much about this journey and about this character, about the journey that she goes on, because there would be spoilers, and I don't do spoilers, and I don't like spoilers, but it's beautiful. It left me breathless at some points, and I just really, really enjoyed it. Finally is going to be Dear Life by Meghan Quinn. This book revolves around 4 individuals, and they all have to find their way to cope with their individual journeys, as well as finding new. And the tagline for this book is to prove your existence. I don't want to go any further into it. I really enjoyed this book. I read it at the beginning of the year, and this is a book that I would definitely pass along and hand out, give for Christmas to anyone that is looking for something, that needs assistance with finding something. Anything. The 4 stories, the 4 individuals, each of their stories are so unique and so different that you can feel each of their journeys individually. And I absolutely loved every moment of it. Have you read any of those books that I have just named? Do any of them appeal to you now that you know a little bit about them, because there isn't a guy, sexy male model on the front of them? Are they books that you want to read? Let me know down in the comments. We'll discuss. And if you want to discuss more, I have a couple of the videos, so I'll link them down in the description box as well, that I did individual video reviews for. As always, if you enjoyed this video, please give me a big thumbs up and subscribe to the channel. Also, there is a feedback form down in the description box so you guys can help me improve my channel. I started a blog and a Goodreads group. Please go check those out. Thank you for watching, and we will see you guys later.